Afternoon, everyone. Let me just adjust my... Oh, there's a bit of a glare on there, isn't there? I hate being wonky. Ooh. If I stick that underneath there, then it's not going to glare so much, is it? Hello, Annie. Ooh, I just need to go and get some water. Right, I have water. Hi, Rhiannon. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Linda. Happy New Year. Afternoon, Mum. Hello, Carolyn. Hi, Gaynor. There are loads of people on. I'm on a little bit early as usual. Well, I say as usual. Afternoon, Helen. Just like to come on a few minutes early just so we can get ourselves settled. How is everyone today? Are you well? Hopefully this is going to go all right today because I haven't done a Facebook Live for ages. It's been quite a long time. I've got a feeling, I think last June was the last time we did a Facebook Live. So it's been quite a few months. Ooh, everyone's gone very quiet. Oh, hi Jill. Oh, you're a bit chesty, are you? Oh dear. Have a medicinal whiskey or brandy. I'm sure that's allowed, isn't it? If you're popping on, say hello, so I can see that you're there. My mother is on. Hello, mother dearest. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Right. Oh, what's the time now? God, it goes so quickly, doesn't it? Hi, Donna. You having your hair done, are you? Right, so the card I'm doing today, oh flip, I knew I'd forget. Yeah, so the card I'm doing today is this card, and it's really lovely, I think. I can't take credit for the design. There is a lady whose blog I got the inspiration from. Her name's Ali something or other, I can't remember. But I will post a link to her blog post on how to make this card as well. I'll post that on this in the Facebook Live afterwards. So if you wanted, you can go through and follow the instructions on our Facebook Live. Hi Peter, how are you? Nice to see you again. Well, nice to read you again. Yeah, so I will post that later. So this is all thanks to her. And it is using this lovely stamp. Creative Expressions, we love Creative Expressions, and this is the Designer Boutique Butterfly Blooms stamp. And I think I did post a link. I'm not sure if it's going to come up on your feed at all, but I did post a link to say that the Facebook Live, all the products that we use are on our website. So hopefully it's come up on yours. If it doesn't, it might come up at some point. Sound keeps coming and going. I've no idea, Annie. Don't know. Hopefully it's just you. It could just be Facebook having one of those days. Or it could just be because I haven't done a Facebook Live for a while, so it's having a hissy fit. Yeah, so anyway, so this is the stamp. Lovely stamp. I've got it all already on an acrylic block, so it's a decent size stamp that you get. And you also get some sentiments. You get wishing and you get to you as well. So it's a really nice size stamp. Fab. Good sound for Peter. So hopefully everyone is okay. And I will also be using these iridescent shimmering watercolor paints, which is they're amazing. Again, I can't take credit for finding these. One of our lovely customers, Carolyn, who I think is on today, asked us to get some in because she's used these before. And so I thought, well, why not? So I've got a couple of different sets. I think there's about 11 different sets available. So we had set 2, which was Carnival Brights, and then set 3 is Autumn Sunrise. We've sold out of Carnival Brights, and set 3 Autumn Sunrise, I think we've only got 1 in at the moment. Well, we did yesterday, so I don't know if that's gone. But I will be ordering some more. So if anyone does want a set of the Autumn Sunrise or the Carnival Brights or any of the other sets, just let us know. And we will be doing another order very soon, and I'll probably see if I can get as many of the sets in as possible. I know some of them are out of stock at the moment, but I will try and get in as many as I can. So these are watercolor paints, but they are also iridescent, so they've got mica in them. They have a very difficult to take off little plastic thing on the front there. So it may take me about half an hour just to get this off. There we are. That comes off there. And then these are the paints. So that when they're dry, they're hard. So they're all dry at the moment. The little palettes do come out. So if you wanted to use them out of there, you can do. I don't think that they do replacements at the moment, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. But I shall look into it and see if I can find out if they do replacements, because I know Carolyn said that she ran out of, I think it was the white one that she liked to use, which is in the Carnival Brights. So I shall have a look at that. But I'll demonstrate those in a minute. And I've also done a swatch. So this is on black card. Probably when you do it on white card, I haven't actually tried it on white card yet, but I assume on white card that the colours will probably come out roughly as they are in the palette. But on black card they come out and they're absolutely stunning. Don't know if you can see all of the shimmer and the iridescence in there or not. But some of them have got, they're multi-tonal as well. So like the red blaze, the topaz sparkle, the yellow sparkle, they, depending on which way you angle them, depends on the colour that you see. It's just mad. So this card, the colours that I used, I actually only used one colour. I just used red blaze on this. But when you look at it, you can see reds at a certain angle, then you can sort of see blues, you can see pinks and purples. There's all sorts of different tones that you can see within that. Yeah, brilliant. I hope everyone's feed is okay, because mine keeps sort of going a bit dodgy. But hopefully everyone's is okay. Now the only thing is, I don't know what colour to do. I was umming and ahhing about the colour combination, and I did decide on one yesterday, and I can't remember what it was. So I'll probably just decide again later. So first thing I'm going to do, I have done a little bit of prep. The only thing I've prepped is I've done my, I'm using a 7x7 card blank. Oh, yeah, I don't know what it is, Don. I don't know why it's doing that. Who knows? And so the card blank is 7x7. I'm actually using inches today. I don't use inches very often, but I am inching today. So I've done a black square, which is 6.5 inches squared, and I've just stuck that straight onto my white card blank. And then I've got a gold square, which I've cut to 5 3/4 of an inch. I don't do 1/8 and 1/16. I get confused with those. So I'm just keeping it as simple as possible. So 5 3/4 inches is that size, and that's a square. And then what I'm going to do is this piece is what I'm going to be working on, and this piece here is 5.5 squared. So nice and easy. And I think Ali used more or less the same measurements as me. She may have gone slightly different because she obviously understands inches more than I do. But there we go, hey ho. So what you're going to need, you're probably going to need 2 sheets of black card, black A4 card. I mean, if you've got a sheet of A3, then you could just use 1 sheet of A3. But if you've only got A4, it'll be 2 sheets of A4 because you can't quite get the biggest square out of the remainder of the card. So all I've done is I've cut that out of 1 sheet, and then I've got this bit was the excess, and then I've also got another bit here as well. So what I've done is I've stamped with my Versamark ink pad. I will do it on this bit here in a minute, but just so you know, I've stamped with my Versamark ink pad, and I have heat embossed with my Cosmic Shimmer bright gold embossing powder. So I stamped the full image onto there, and then I've also stamped what I'm going to need on this is actually just the inner part of the butterfly wing. So I don't really need any of this, but I've just stamped it just to make it easier. So those are those 2. So I've already stamped and embossed those, just so that I only need to do 1, because you don't want to see too much stamping and embossing, I'm sure. But this one I'm going to stamp and emboss now. I'm going to use, this is my, if anyone has got a stamping press, or even if you've got the stamping foam, anything like that. So this is just my stamp press, and all I've done is I've taken the foam inner out of it, because I don't actually need to use the stamp tool. I find it easier to just use acrylic blocks for this. But it always helps to put your stamp foam underneath what you're stamping on. It just helps to give it a nice clean stamped image. So what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do, whenever you do any heat embossing, it's always a good idea to use an anti-static pad. So what I'm doing is I'm just lightly tapping all the way over my piece of card, and then shake off my excess, and then I'm going to put that on top of my stamping foam, and then I'm going to ink up my stamp. So I'm using Versamark. You could use Perfect Medium, Spectrum Noir, do a watermark ink pad. There's a WOW version, all sorts of different versions. But as long as it's a watermark or heat embossing ink pad, that's all you need. So this one is quite a nice new one, which is nice, because our other one is stinking. It's really old. And then all I'm doing is just lightly tapping all the way over my stamp, just to give a nice coating. Like so. And then I'm going to stamp that at a bit of an angle, at a bit of a jaunty angle on my card. And then I'm just going to give it a nice firm press all the way over. Always make sure that you push in the centre, because the centre is always the area that tends to miss. You usually manage to get the corners, the edges and everything around it, but sometimes the middle part is the bit that doesn't tend to get the most pressure. So I shall push nicely on that and then lift that off, and you probably can't see anything, but that's fine. Get my trusty piece of paper, which we've had for about, oh God, years and years, I think. We just use the same piece of paper over and over again. It's almost an antique. There we are, just gently tap off the excess. I'll just pop that back into my pot. How is everyone today anyway? Are you all well? What's everyone up to? Crafting or house cleaning? Working, or supposed to be working? You're all very quiet. I hope you're all still there. Right, there we are, so that's that. There's a few fingerprints on there, but that should be fine. And just get my little brush, because what you can do is you can just grab your little brush if you've got just a nice soft brush. If you have got any excess that's in any places you don't want it to be. No, there's so many fingerprints on this piece of card. They probably won't make any difference, but just in case, you never know. But because you've used the anti-static, that usually helps to take away most of the bits, the dodgy bits that you don't want. There we are. So I shall now turn the heat tool on. And just to be aware as well, I'm using an anti-static, what's the word? A non-slip sheet underneath me. But it's not a heat-proof one. So if you are doing heat embossing, just make sure that you don't end up melting your mat. So just keep it away from it. Okay. And then eventually it will start to melt. It's lovely, doesn't it? I love doing heat embossing. So just slowly working my way around. Just make sure you move your fingers out of the way so you don't burn them. There we go. Donna's asking if there's a reason why I'm heating from above. Because I'm too impatient to heat from below, Donna. Basically, you can heat from below. It takes longer if you heat from below. Some people say you get a smoother finish when you heat from below, but to be honest, I can't. I've never noticed it. So I'm just using a piece of toilet paper just to get rid of me excess powder. There we are. Isn't that lovely? Gorgeous design. Really pretty. And it looks really nice on the black. The gold and the black just looks really striking, I think. Oh, Elizabeth Powell, just listening to my soothing voice. Well, apparently I do have a voice for radio. Not a face for radio, but a voice for radio. There we are. And Peter loves watching embossing. I love watching embossing as well. It is lovely. There we are. So that was nice, wasn't it? So now we're going to crack on with the paints. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do all of the painting, probably, because it'll take me a while, and you probably don't want to see that. I'll just pick out some little bits. But basically, on this layer, I'm going to paint the butterfly and all of the flowers. So with these paints, you need to activate them with water. So what you can do, you can either spritz the whole palette and then just work on it as you want, or if you're only using a particular colour and you don't want to bother spritzing the whole thing, you can do that. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't waste anything if you spritz the whole palette, because what you'll do once you've finished using it, you just leave the lid open and just leave it to air dry, and then it'll just go back to this consistency, so it just goes hard again. So I think I decided, you see, I like the yellow sparkle. The yellow sparkle is nice because it's sort of like, it's yellow, but there's also a pink in there as well, pinky and purpley, which is lovely. And I also like the tropic yellow, which is more of a green. So I'm just going to spritz those two, and then I just need to leave them for a couple of minutes. Well, not a couple of minutes, just a little while, just for the water to activate the paints. That's the word. And then I'm going to decide. So I'm going to use the yellow sparkle, I think, on the butterfly, and then I'm going to use the tropic yellow on the flowers, I think. So as you work them, you'll see if they've started to, it only takes a few seconds for them to start doing something. So this is just a normal paintbrush I'm using as well. I'm not using a water brush. You can use water brush if you want, but I'm just using a normal paintbrush. And then it's simply a case of painting where you want it to go. And the good thing about heat embossing as well is that it gives an edge to your to the paints, so the paint won't actually, it tends to resist certain areas. So as long as you're careful not to go out the lines, it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry too much about the inner parts of the line. And then if you just need a little bit more water in there, just put a little bit more water. So they're really easy to use. And they do look lovely on black card. And this one, yeah, is there's yellows and there's also pinks in there as well. So it's just the one colour, but it all comes out different colours. It's really weird. So as that dries, it's quite yellow at the moment, but as that dries, you'll start to see more of the pinks in there. Don't know if you can see that. Probably. So that's the wings, and then I said I was going to do the flowers in the tropic yellow, didn't I? I think I might do some flowers in the yellow sparkle. If I do these smaller flowers in the yellow sparkle, and then I can do the bigger ones in the tropic yellow. Just gone out a little bit there, so just get me piece of towel, and then I'll do these ones in that colour as well. So on the first card, I just used the one colour. I just used the red. What was it? Red blaze on the flowers and the butterfly wings. Just to show that you can make a really nice card without thinking too much about different colours, just using one colour. For this one I'm going to use different colours, just to change it up a bit. See, at a certain angle it just looks yellow and it looks horrible, but when you tilt it you start to see all the pinks and the different micas and everything, the different colours in there. It's very clever. And then I'll do this one over here. In the same colours. I might even do those little leaves there. Why not, eh? And then I'm going to use, I'll do that one as well. Smidge more water. So has anyone done much crafting lately? Or have we all lost our crafting mojo for the moment? I haven't been crafting for quite a while, but then I saw this card and I just thought, oh, I've just got to try that because it's so pretty. There we are. So that's those ones, and I'm going to do the other ones in the other colour, in the tropic yellow. So just swizzle off the excess colour on me in my little pot, and then the tropic yellow is this one. It doesn't look like a yellow, does it? It looks more like an orange. It's mad, isn't it? It's very clever. Ah, Jill's making a card. Oh, hi Bev. Didn't see you there. For some reason the comments are popping up and then they're disappearing really quickly, so I'm missing them. So Jill's making a card from the workshop, from this month's workshop. It was a popular one actually this month. Quite a few people have made cards, quite a few different cards from the workshop. From Ian's design, because Ian's the clever one. He's the one who does all the designing of these quirky things, and I'm more of a follow what other people have done type of crafter. And then my mum has made a card for my, oops, oh, flip, wrong one. My mum has made a card for my cousin. And I think Ian's just come home as well. Gorgeous. Oh, it's quite nice actually with these different tones. With the two different colours, it's quite pretty. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Hello.
Hello everyone.
Ian's just creeping up the stairs.
Hi again, Jill.
You saw Jill this morning, did you?
She's been to the shop, yeah.
Can't keep away, can you, Jill?
What's an SRA3 card?
Yeah, so I'm just working around the petals. As you can see, these paints are going to go a long way as well. They'll just last you for ages. Pretty. And then I've just got a couple more little flowers here to do. So I'll just quickly fill these in. And work my way round. That's that one there. There was another one. Oh, there's the other one. Very therapeutic this is, very calming. I hope you're not falling asleep. There we are. Just do a couple of these extra leaves as well. There we are. So I'm going to have to leave that to dry now because it's not quite dry. It is drying. As you can see, the yellow on the butterfly wings is drying nicely. A little bit wet over there, but it's quite nice having the two different colours on there. Don't know how well you can see them. You probably see them better in the flesh. It is very relaxing, isn't it, Jill? So I'm not going to worry about the fact that I put my brush in the wrong palette there, because if I just use some water, it'll just blend it away. There we are, and it's gone. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that to the side for a little bit, and then I'm going to grab the other two ones that I did earlier, the ones that I've already heat embossed. What I need to do, if I show you on this one first of all, because the card is made up of a few different layers, on the butterfly, obviously the first layer is the full butterfly wing. The second layer, which is on this one, is going to also be the full butterfly wing. So I'm going to have to paint all of that. And then the third layer which is this one here that I've done, is just going to be this inner part of the butterfly wing. So I don't need to worry about the outer parts, and I don't need to worry about these flowers on this one. So I'm just going to quickly... right, so which one was I using? I was using yellow sparkle, wasn't I? Yes. So I'm just going to quickly do my yellow sparkle on the butterfly wing. So this is the inner part of the butterfly wing. Could you use your heat tool to speed up drying if you needed to? Yes, Peter, you could. Yeah, no reason why not. Naturally is always better, and it doesn't take that long to dry. It's almost dry now. It's just that little bit that I probably went a little bit thicker with the paint. Yeah, I think if you heat dry it, then it might not dry as evenly as if you leave it to dry naturally. Yeah, there we are. So I'm just doing, so this is the inner part of the butterfly wing. So there's not really very much to paint on this, because a lot of it is just the gold embossing. You're welcome, Peter. No problem. Anyone's got any questions, please ask. That's what we're for. Yeah, so that's the butterfly. That's the inner part. So that's all I'm going to be doing on that section there. And then this section, this one, I'm going to be doing the butterfly, the full butterfly wing. Yeah, I'm making sure I'm not putting it in the wrong one. So I'm going to do the full butterfly wing on this one. A little bit more water. You can tell when you need more water, it just gets a bit dry. And then just put a little bit more water in there and it just reinvigorates it. So you don't need to put loads of water in there or anything. Right, so I'll just work my way over this. So this one, we're basically just painting exactly the same as the first layer. So painting the butterfly wing and then the flowers. So I'm probably only going to paint, I'll just paint a couple of the flowers after I've done this, just so that I can show you what we need to do next. And then I can finish it later and then post it on the Facebook page, and we'll take the samples into the shop as well. Right, so I did that flower in this colour. So that flower in that colour, that flower in that colour as well. And that one. I might be able to whiz over all of these really. It doesn't take too long, does it? And then this one down here I did in that colour as well. So you don't really need to take much care and attention at doing this at all, just slap it on basically. all I did on those ones, isn't it? And then the other flowers I did in the tropic yellow. Yeah, mine does as well. No idea why it's doing it. As long as you get the main gist of it, then that's the important thing. This is mad. This one looks more blue. But it's called Tropic Yellow. It's really weird. So these are the big flowers. And these, all of these flowers I'm actually going to be cutting out. And then they'll go on top as my sort of dimensional element. Apparently my hands look really big on Carolyn's TV. Oh dear. Oh, maybe it's the tablet, because I'm watching it on the my tablet, and it's juddering a bit every so often. So maybe it's a tablet thing. Who knows? Yeah, Carolyn is the lady who told us about these lovely paints, because she likes using them. So she's the one we've got to blame for spending all our pennies on some nice new paints. Although they are worth it. They are very nice. Do you know how long you've had your palette for, Carolyn? Your Carnival Brights? Gorgeous. Yeah, that's why I have a big glass, because it makes my hands look smaller. Well, so I've nearly done all these flowers now. I wasn't going to, but I've ended up doing them all. Last one. Let's quickly whip over that. And there we go. Marvellous. So that's that all done. Yeah, and you'll notice as well, it's a real shame actually, because when you look at your water, your little water pot, you'll notice all of the mica shimmering around in the plain water. I mean, you could just decant that into a spritzer bottle and then actually use that if you wanted, because it just seems such a waste, don't it? Alright, oh, I thought you had a palette, Carolyn. I thought you had the Carnival Brights originally, or am I getting confused? Probably getting confused. Hello, Kate. How are you? another fellow craft shop owner. There we are. So now what I'm going to do, because I've finished using my my paints, I'm just going to leave that aside, leave the lid off, and just leave it to dry in the air. And then once it's dry, then I put my little protective plastic bit back on again and close it up, and then they're ready for you next time. So dead easy to use. Yeah, gorgeous, isn't it? Do like that. Yeah, see, I prefer it when it's got the pinkies and everything in it than the yellows. But there we are. So that is my base layer. This is my second layer, and then this is the layer that I did earlier. So this is probably nice and dry now. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this part that I painted, and make sure that I keep the body of the butterfly as well, because there's the body of the butterfly is there as well. So I'm just going to quickly whiz around, and because they're nice, quite thick lines, and I've heat embossed it as well, it just makes it very easy to be able to cut around, because it's quite a thick area. And obviously if you wanted to save all the other bits and cut around those, you can do that. Right, and then I need to make sure that I cut the inner part, because I keep forgetting them. I start happily cutting around and I'm cutting the wrong bit. So it's only the inner part that I need of this one. You don't have to be too precise, especially because of all the extra. There's quite a lot of extra gold embossing around there, so you can get away with quite a few mistakes if you do miss any areas. And I'll come down there, and meet up in the middle. I missed any coins? And cut that out with those big scissors. These are the only ones I have to hand. Sometimes people do say that it's easier to cut out with big scissors. I think it depends on, it's just personal preference, isn't it, really? Sometimes I do find it easier with bigger scissors, because you're not, seeing as I've got such big hands, eh, Carolyn? There we are. So that's my first bit cut out. So that's the butterfly wing. So then pop those aside. Ooh, one thing I forgot to do was clean my stamp after I used my Versamark, didn't I? So just give it a quick spritz with water, and then just give it a quick wipe. So none of those nasty baby wipes, wet wipes or anything like that. Just a bit of water and an old rag. That's all you need. Because it's a water-based product anyway, the Versamark, so it's not you don't need anything fancy. And then I'm going to, right, I'm also going to cut, because I want to show you the wings. I'll show you the wings and I'll show you a couple of the flowers. So I'm going to have to cut a little bit of it out. So this one, I'm cutting out this wing, and this is going to be the outer part of the wing as well, so all the way around the outer edge. Ooh, what are you all talking about? Ah, Jill uses decoupage scissors, or decoupage, some people call it, don't they? Annie, I had awful problems with video stopping and starting, so I'm watching on laptop now. Oh, right. Okie doke. Whatever works for you. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a Facebook glitch. Maybe it's because it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever it is. Might be a busy time for Tinternet users. When America wakes up, it tends to get busier, doesn't it? Who knows? Yeah, so just quickly going around the wing. Make sure I get the body as well. What's the body of a butterfly called? Isn't it called something specific? Isn't there a special name for it? A special name for the body of a butterfly? I'm sure somebody would know. There we are. So there's my full layer. So I've got just the inner layer there, and then I've got my full layer there. So you can see that those are going to go on top of each other. And then I'm just going to cut out. Don't worry about the fact that you've only got some of the petals have been missed out there. It doesn't matter because it's all going to look fine once it's done. So I'm just going to quickly cut out this petal, this flower here, and then I might do one of the other bits because there are a couple that are sort of joined together. So on the first card that I did actually cut them out together as well, and it just seems to be a bit easier. Why are there so many petals on this flower? So the black card I'm using, if anyone's interested, is our normal Pick a Mix black card. I think it's 300 gram, the black. So it's a nice, decent weight. You could probably use a bit thinner if you wanted. I personally prefer to just use the 300 gram because I'm extravagant with things like that. Oh, abdomen. Ooh, what did he say? The back end is the abdomen and the thick part on the body is the thorax. Ah. Thank you, Google. Nearly done. Just a couple of little bits to do. And then with the flowers, obviously because I've just cut around the edge of the flower, yeah, you learn something new every day, don't you, Jill? So with the flowers, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little bit down the petals as well, just so that it gives it a bit more dimension for when I come to shaping it. I know, I'm pretty proficient with feathers, with flowers now, scissors now, aren't I, Mum? So I'm just going a little bit down. You don't want to go too far down because you've got to be careful about where the next cut is. You don't want to cut any petals off. Have I done that one yet? Yeah, so I've just gone all the way around and I've just cut a little bit down the petals, if you can see that, just to make it easier for when it comes to shaping them. And then these ones, the ones I was on about, these ones here, those two are very close together. You can cut them out separately if you want, and then those two there are quite close together. I just cut them out together and then just stuck them on together. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm just going to cut around this one, and then I'll just, rather than going all the way around that one, I'll cross over onto the second one. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to do it this way, or you can cut them all out individually. Yeah, so then just move straight across to the next flower. Around there. A little bit there. You don't want too many straight lines, so if I just come in a little bit around there. Like so. Now, so then that's those two cut out together. And then I'll do the same as well with those petals, so just snip down a little bit around, just making sure I don't go too far in. Oops. Hello to everyone new that's popping on. There we are, I think. And is there one there? Yes, I can go down there as well. There we are. So I've just gone roughly around and just snipped into those petals now, just to make them a bit more movable. And then what I'm going to do, what I'll do afterwards is I'll cut out the rest of those, because I've got a couple more there that I can cut out. So I'll cut those out afterwards. But in the meantime, I shall grab my piece of foam again. This is from my Press to Impress, but you could use stamping foam or embossing mat or anything like that. And then just going to turn my flowers over and then just use an embossing tool just to add a bit of dimension, just to break the fibres a little bit. And then
Dents the foam.
oh, apparently it dents the foam.
Dents the foam.
Oh, dear.
You can use the back of the. If you use the foam on the back of your Press to Impress, which is the base of your Press to Impress, then it doesn't affect any of the stamping.
All right. Oh, apparently don't use that.
Otherwise, you'll lose dents in the foam back on the other side.
Oh, but you can use the back of this.
It's the same foam on the back, but at least you're not stamping your stamps on the back.
All right.
Okay.
I never knew that. There we are. So I've just worked around the back, with my ball tool, turn it over, and then you can use your ball tool if you've got a smaller one, but I'm just using my the point of my brush just in the middle, just to give it a little bit of extra dimension, like that, and then it really brings out the colours as well in the micas. Do the same with these as well. So just work on the one flower first of all, and then work on the other flower, because these ones are the ones that are joined together. Turn it over, push it down a little bit, and then just press in the middle just to get those petals to lift up a little bit. There, that. And then with the butterflies, all I'm going to do is just get a little bit of shaping in the butterfly wings. Just going to use a pen just to roll around. Just to make it a bit more dimensional. Like that. And then what I tend to do is just use my nail just to go along the left side of the body, just to flatten that out a little bit. So when it comes to sticking it down, it's in the right place. And then same with this one. Just curve that a bit. And then maybe just lift up the edges of the butterfly's wings at the ends. Which is quite nice, I think. And then again, just use my nail on the edge of the thorax, was it? I can't remember now. Like that. So then that's going to go on top of the other one. So I'll put that aside for the moment. And then I need to look for my... Oh, where's my other glue gone? Ooh. I need my other glue. Ooh. So... Right, I think I'm going to stick this onto here now, because before I add all my extra layers on, if I stick this on, so I've got my base layer, I've got my black square, and I've got my gold square. So I'm going to stick this onto here. Just going to use my all-purpose glue. You can use the high-tack glue or double-sided tape, or anything like that. And then be careful, if you are using a wet glue, make sure that you don't get any glue on the mirror card, because it can be rather difficult to get off of mirror card. Give that a good squishing. Can't stand it when you watch these demos and someone glues something and then puts it onto a card and doesn't push it down. I'm shouting at the television, push it down. There we are. You want it to be adhered properly, don't you? Yes, I have said the car size and everything. And they are on the Ali's blog post as well. Does anyone want me to go through them again? The measurements? I did do them at the beginning. Right, so my butterfly. I'm going to use 3D glue gel, and I'm going to use a little bit of PVA, and the PVA I'm just going to use on the body of the butterfly, just to make sure that he's nicely stuck. Just a little smidge. And then I'm going to do a little blob on each of the wings. And then give me tweezers. Tweezers, probably not. Yeah, and then I'm just going to press down on the body just for a few seconds, just to make sure that that glue grabs. Oh, see, Jill's on the ball there with my dimensions. You've either got a very good memory or you wrote it all down, Jill. So then the same with this, put a little bit of the PVA on his body. Too much. And then my 3D glue gel. Probably use foam pads as well if you wanted. So just line up my bodies. Lovely. Oh, very impressive, Jill. Yep. So that's the butterfly wings, as you can see there. So there's the 2 layers on top of the base layer, stuck down with the bodies as well, and my 3D glue gel. So that just lifts it nicely. You could leave it like that if you wanted, but I'm gonna do some of the flowers as well. So on the first card I did, on this card, I did 3D glue gel on the wings. But on the flowers, I just used PVA glue and just stuck them down with that. And when I originally did it, they still had quite a lot of dimension. But as the glue dried, the dimension sort of went. So I think if you want the dimension, it is a good idea to keep to use the 3D glue gel, because it does tend to hold the dimension then. Better than just a PVA glue. There we are, so that's that one, and then the biggest challenge is figuring out which bit goes where. Goes on to there like that, and then just make sure that the glue is grabbing, and right. So what I'll do, like I said, I will carry on cutting out these other flowers later on. And then I'll do exactly the same. I'll just stick those onto, I'll do the dimensioning thing, and then I'll stick those onto there. But I also wanted to show you. No problem, Helen. Thank you for joining us. You'll be able to catch up later anyway on Facebook, or we'll upload it to YouTube as well. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use This is clear 3D gloss. It's the Anita's one. This is the one we tend to stock in our shop. But if you've got glossy accents, you can use that. I don't know if there's anything else, or if it's just, I'm not sure if Cosmic Shimmer do something similar as well. But it's basically this 3D clear gloss stuff that allows you to do dimension like this. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to do some of the clear gloss in the circle bits and then do a couple of little blobs. I should really have done my sentiment, shouldn't I, earlier? There we are. So with the clear gloss, all you need to do is just make sure that you've got it coming out first of all. Try not to get any bubbles if you can. And then it's just a case of gently squeezing the nozzle and then just moving the tip around where you want it to go. So very easy. So I tend to go around the outer edge first of all of the area I'm doing, like that. If you can see that, you should be able to see. And then I just go in and fill in the inner part. Like that. There we are. So initially you'll see it's quite misty, but once it dries, it does dry clear. And obviously you can see it's gone black. It looks like it's black there because it's on black card. So I'll do a couple of these just around here. So you can do this, if you wanted, you can do this before you put the flowers on and leave it to dry. Because the thing is, you don't want to put the flowers on and find that you've put your finger in the clear gloss or anything. So yeah, it would be best to leave it to dry thoroughly. And usually it takes a couple of hours, ideally overnight. And if you do get any bubbles, you can usually just pop them, either with the nozzle or with a pin. Quite therapeutic this is, isn't it? One there, I'll get that one. And it's basically just a case of just going around all of the circle areas. And just using the 3D gloss on those. Just gives it a nice extra finish, nice bit of dimension. These ones are quite easy because you just put a blob in the middle and just let it ooze out. Yeah, it's lovely stuff. Should I do the other ones? Might as well do the other ones. Ian's asked how long it takes to dry. I think I've already answered that, Ian. Did you miss that? Preferably overnight, but it should take a couple of hours. You'll know when it's dry because it'll go clear. So try and be patient with it, and don't try and heat dry it because it might bubble up and you might end up in a bit of a mess. So it's always best to leave this to dry naturally. I think that's all of them, isn't it? Ooh, not quite. And then the only other thing I did on my original, I did some of the little blobs. So you can either use this, or if you've got some of the pearl glues or anything like that, you could use those. And it's exactly the same principle, just a case of making sure there's no bubbles in it and just allow a little blob to come out. And I tend to go in threes, and I try to make them different sizes as well if I can. Can you see those? Oh, that's a good idea, Annie. Yes. These paints will be lovely with on the colorista pads, the colouring pad, any of the colouring pads that have got have got a black card base. They would be lovely on that. Can you see those? So that's me little blobs. So I'm just going to do. Oh, Annie! Oh, shut up! Oh. You're too kind. As I did say at the beginning, this isn't my design, my card design. There we are, nice big one there. There we are. And the only other thing I'm going to do, which I will do afterwards, is put a sentiment. So I'll just heat emboss that in the same gold and cut it out and stick it on the bottom right hand corner. I think on Ali's blog she did say about putting some gold gems at the top left just for balance, but that's up to you. Oh, the other thing I haven't done. Oh, something else I haven't done. My sparkle pen. I need to do a little bit of jelly. This is the Jelly Roll sparkle pen, and I'm just going to go around the edge of this with a bit of a dash, just to make a little bit of a stitching effect. So these are the glitter sparkle pens that we've got. This one is the clear, which of course we haven't actually got in the shop at the moment, which is typical. I ordered a load of them in a nice little display box and didn't realise that clear was the one colour that wasn't included in the display box. So we've got all sorts of other lovely colours and they're really nice. Really super fine glitter in the pen, and because they're the Jelly Roll ones, they just flow really easily. They're not like standard gel pens that tend to not flow so well. So I will be getting some more of the clear ones in though, because the clear is just nice. If you don't want anything coloured, you just want something glittery, then these are really pretty for that. But we do have silver, gold, all sorts of different colours, purples, reds, blues, all sorts in the shop. And it's just quite a nice, subtle, little glittery finish. Can you see the little dashes, my little dashes? On my first card I did dots and dashes, and this card I've changed up a bit and I've just done dashes. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, you can see them, can't you? Yeah, marvellous. There we are, so almost finished this card. So that was my first one, which I used, what did I use? Red Blaze from the Autumn Sunrise palette. And then this one, this second one I've done today, I used the Yellow Sparkle and the Tropic Yellow. and I'm trying not to put my fingers in my 3D glue, my gloss at the moment. There we are. So that's that. Thank you for joining us, or joining me. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it wasn't too boring. I'll put the cards, I'll put photos on the Facebook group, and they'll be on display in the shop as well if you want to see them. Did everyone enjoy? Yeah, I'll do the sentiment afterwards. I won't bore you with that. I'll just whack on a sentiment after I've finished. A bit glary as well, isn't it? It's because of our nice new light. It's really bright. Okie dokie. Thank you very much. Well, I'll after I finish this, I will upload the video to YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe if you're on YouTube to all the other videos that we've got. And take care everyone, be safe, and we shall see you all again soon. Okay, bye.